I think you talked a lot on analytics. One area which hasn't probably come out in the way the audience would look forward to is the platform-led solution delivery over there. And Baljinder, if you can come in over here and say that, how has that transformed and how has that led to value creation? And also looking upon some of the things which we've been saying that it's more outcome oriented rather than how you go about delivering it. So if you can talk through.
And let me just clearly articulate that the idea is not to compete with or step into the shoes of becoming a technology provider. That's not what it is. What it is that we've been a verticalized organization. The way we take our market, look at the market and take our solutions to the clients. We are just trying to complete the whole value proposition, which means you can start upstream with a consulting assignment. You could then bring in a platform, and you can run your transactions in a platform. Could be utilities, billing and CRM, could be a healthcare engine, in care management, could be an insurance, life and annuities engine. And then you generate exceptions, and you generate a lot of judgment-based processes downstream, which goes into the conventional bucket of operations management.
Sure.
Now, all of this is generating a lot of data, right? And that's where the analytics comes in. Okay. And you could apply a lot of analytics.
But let me bring in someone who's a technology player in this game. So far, we're saying all of us BPM players. And Sanjay, you've been sitting there observing and getting understanding what the service provider industry is talking upon. From a technology viewpoint, what are the things that you are looking at this moment? What is that kind of demand which is coming upon?
Sure. So thanks. Let me just address in two parts, right? Yeah. All the disruption that we're talking about and the new models on BPM and everything else, there's one key driver which is driving this in a big way is the customer experience. And everything is changing for customer, right? Today, whether you take any parameter around, whether it's a technology disruption like internet or SMAC, or you can put it like the new generation who's coming with a different expectation altogether, like the millennials. For them, the definition of loyalty is completely different. Right? You and I possibly will still be loyal to a particular brand because it has served us in the past, but I think now the new generation is only loyal for that transaction. And then when they like it, they really like it, but if they don't like it, they just move away, right? So that's where the innovation of domain or analytics plays an important role, that how do you really entice and serve this new generation or the new changing expectation of customer in a huge way. For example, we are in a interaction management business. So today, if you look at a customer you're filing a complaint for very appliance not working, or you have a problem with your car or your telephone not working or anything, you have variety of channels that you can reach out a customer to. But today, most service providers are still either on a traditional way of a call center. You call my voice number, send me an email, or send me a text. Or maybe, there are people who can even go to social media and do that. But is that all really stitched together to, serve that customer? I may have made a phone call in the morning, but I later on followed by an email and then maybe an SMS or an outburst on social media. Does the service provider intellectually know that it's the same customer who is really repeating the complaint because it's not been served? Or alternatively, can we really build in a system which can stitch it all together so that irrespective of where the customer is calling from, when they are calling, and which touch point they want to use it, you are available as a service provider. Sure. So that's a huge change that we are seeing, we call it as omni-channel revolution, because it doesn't matter how your customer really comes in. He could just walk in or he could just send an SMS. Because everybody's on mobile, right? Everybody wants to do everything with their handheld. Cloud is something that today people earlier thought that this could be an option, but I think cloud is moving the way it is, and if it is not an option for you tomorrow it will be. It's kind of a mandate, right? And innovation comes in with that. I mean, today, who knew that the largest cloud provider in the world will be a book company, right? That's the innovation that we're talking about with cloud. And it has clear consumer economics behind it. It's not a fad, it's a clear economics wherein you get the benefit much earlier. So you can pump in millions of dollars in an IT project and start seeing that benefit only after 6 or 8 months of the deployment, but you could see all that today because it's available on a tab. You can do capacity management, you could do reduced APEX and so on and so forth.
Sure. Thanks, Sanjay, for bringing it up. I want to take it to the next level because, we said BPO or a BPM in a wave 3, and wave 1s and wave 2s were all offshore driven. We're talking of people getting over. Rohit talked upon how you can get off the headcount. If the headcount goes away, the labor arbitrage really goes away. And is that resulting in more demand coming off a near-shore kind of a delivery model which is emerging? Sanjeev, what's your view emerging from there?
So I will, there are a number of lenses to this. I will put a couple of, one is innovation, new products, where does your customer sit, and the ability to respond that emerging need, to the point which is being the younger generation always wants things faster, quicker, right? How do you actually respond to that, right? And what's happening now, if you take the manufacturing lens, which we spoke about earlier, fact is a lot of things are getting automated. The cost of material is what it is. Cost of labor is going down. So you don't need to do it in China. You don't need to do it anywhere else. But the real revenue gain is if you have that ability to bring a new feature or new capability to the market much faster than your competitor. So to be able to do that, I think having your entire new product introduction cycle, which is right from a definition to final delivery, close by, I think is going to make a big difference. You don't have to go and work with people. See, the more chains you have, the more nodes you have in that chain, the longer it takes. If you're able to shorten it. So I think that's the lens. I think there'll be a lot of other things which happen and we can think of, from a services perspective, etc., which are driven by regulation, where it would drive the need to be on nearshore. But I think the biggest thing is going to be innovation. I really think that, that's what's going to drive it. And the speed to innovation, I think that's the main.
Rohit, your views?
No, completely agree. And I think, I would say this would only accelerate because the moment you are putting more and more technology in, sizes are going small. Labor sizes are going small. The moment they go small, you can actually put them anywhere. And now the payroll cost is a fractional component of the total service delivery.
The materiality has gone.
See, the reason you had to build India, you had to build Philippines, all of that was because labor cost was a big part of it. What if I make labor cost 15%? Would you mind if it's A, B, C, D, which location? Honestly, it doesn't matter. So I think call it nearshore, onshore, call it co-located, whatever it is. I think those things are absolutely going to happen and happen they're happening actually. Nobody knows it better than these guys.
If I can just build on that.
Manoj.
What we are seeing is that the customers are asking, multi-location delivery, and especially if they're a large organization and they are operating out of say 70, 80 countries, especially on the, let's say in the infrastructure business or service center business. So they are asking for, okay, can you have a location in US, in Europe, in APAC, and serve me seamlessly across these locations. So one, you're delivering a superior customer experience because of, the language issues. The language barrier is much less. The whole time zone issue, the ability in some cases personalizing it for the markets and so on. And the technology has really enabled this. So we have a concept called any agent, any location, and the agent simply has to log in and everything else, the call will follow, and the intelligence is all in the routing. So with this level of technology investments we have made, it's all possible. The location of the agent itself is not as important.
Okay. Sanjay, what are you seeing those forward-looking trends as we talking upon? So we talked a whole lot of data. We talked a whole lot of the intelligence which is going to come based on that data. What is that you are looking at?
So the way we are looking at utilizing this data and providing solutions from a technology vendor perspective, and Baljinder had earlier talked about domain-specific or vertical-specific solutions, right? And that's where we are putting our big bet on as to what we can deliver as a service, as a niche product for a retail outlet or for a healthcare company or for insurance. And our engagement is that how do we utilize some of these and do. If you have one example, you did a ATM transaction, right? You lost your card maybe. Can I just correlate with a location on your mobile just to check whether your mobile number which is registered with me as a bank is in the same vicinity where you are doing actually the transaction on the ATM, which could be outside the country. And if you see a risk there, immediately you can block the transaction as opposed to doing it later. Right? Second example could be, how do I do a real-time verification? I talked about these 4 questions, but can I do, while the customer is on the call, can I send some feed on his mobile phone which actually allows him to authenticate online there and then, and I know it's a genuine caller. So these are just few examples which are emerging, and we are focusing all our energies into utilizing some of these for specific verticals.
Excellent. I think the jury is very clear what we are all talking upon, saying that, the technology, what has got us here, for us to move forward from here, there's a whole set of new technology which is there. The adoption, it's not an option for us. It's providing us opportunities. It's up to us how we adopt it and how we utilize it. I think the panelists talk really about saying that what is that the customers are asking for, and as a provider, how we're preparing ourselves for it. Baljinder very clearly brought upon saying that we're not a technology company. So while we are adopting these technologies, I think it's more saying that how can we apply it from a business viewpoint. And that's a very clear message which Sanjeev also brought upon, saying that, I think I need to read that line when you said two speed of IT, and how do you really make sure that's how you constantly move forward and constantly address the requirements which are coming from the client.